All right, welcome back to the studio. This is part 2 of our series on building acoustic panels to deaden the sound in this home studio just a little bit. If you click right there, in that area right there, you can go back and watch the first video where we put those panels together. You can see the first acoustic panel up on the wall over here. So in this video, we're going to be attaching some picture wire to the back of these. We had to make a little bit of a change in the design scheme. If you watch the first video, we put some holes in the top feet on the back of those panels, thinking we could just string the picture wire through there. It turned out you couldn't get it tight enough, as you can see right here. Once that give and the slack is taken up by the weight of the acoustic panel, you can see that hook out the top. We didn't want that. Thought it didn't look clean enough, so we're changing the design a little bit here. We got some eye hooks. We're going to put them down a little bit lower and run the picture wire through those eye hooks. So let's take a look at how we do this part, and we're going to get those hung up on the wall. Should look real nice. And then you can hear a little bit of, hopefully, some of the difference that's going to make in the sound dynamics in the room. I hope it does, and I hope that it's informative for you. All right, so we've got our acoustic panel here, and we've changed things up. We were going to put the picture wires I mentioned through a hole in these feet. But unfortunately, we couldn't get it tight enough to not end up showing up above here. So what we're going to do now take and put some eye hooks on here. So we're putting those eye hooks down about 4 inches, and just measure out in your center spot of your 1x3 here, 4 inches. There. Now what I'm doing is taking just a utility knife here and just kind of open that canvas up a little bit so it doesn't bind up in your drill bit or anything. So go ahead and just put a little hole here. We got a little eye hook, just one of these little guys here. This is a number 212. You can buy these at Home Depot. A pack of 8 of them for about $1.13. So just bought enough to 2 on each one. And it gets a little hard here, just use a little leverage, screw that in there. We're trying to just get that basically so that it's screwed until the threads are no longer visible. Once again, 4 inches down, put a mark, put a cut, drill it in, put your eye hook. So once we got the 2 eye hooks on here, we're just going to run some picture wire through one of these and across to the other. And the trick here, really the only trick, is making sure you get the same amount of slack for each one. And just crimp it around the edge here so it holds in place. Pull back tight a little bit, and we're just going to snip metal snips, wire snips, decent gauge, snip that off. Alright, so go ahead and wrap your first one around. You're just going to basically work that around. It's okay if that comes off. Wrap this around 3-4 times, and then usually take like the needle nose pliers, just crimp it a little bit. It's probably not going to come off with any sort of weight that you're going to put on it. You could, of course, get it off if you really, really tried. But in general, that's going to stay put. So here's what we're doing on this hook. I'm go ahead and pass that through there. And I'm going to take till it's tight. Hold that till it's tight. And we're just looking for about a 1/2 inch of slack there. So that's the point that we want. We're going to bring that back just to there, and then start to wrap that around. So we're going 1/2 inch of slack. All right, so what we've got here, we're generally looking for 2 inches there. So we're in that ballpark, and it's, you know, this isn't rocket science. It's okay if it's a little bit off. But there we got our picture wire up. It's strong enough to hold that. And the next step is getting it up on the wall. All right, so we've gone ahead and mounted most of our panels. You can probably hear already a little bit of a difference in the room. What we're using to mount them is just basically, it's called a monkey hook. It's a little bent piece of wire. This one is actually the Gorilla Hook version. It's fairly strong. For the ones that were hanging horizontally on the wall, we're going to hang it with two, but just simply for the ability of keeping it level a little bit easier. All right, so we've got our monkey hook, and we'll just go ahead and, this one we've already pre-done, but basically you're just going to mark your spot, insert it through the wall, rotate it around. That back part will lock up against the inside of the sheetrock, and you got yourself a nice strong hook. Go ahead and take our panel, and for this I reach back behind it so I can feel where that hook is, and just go ahead and drop it on there, and you got yourself a panel. So there we have it, our acoustic panel tutorial, just about $12 per panel, and you can already hear a pretty significant difference in the quality of the audio in the room. Bear in mind, we're just using the external microphone on the camera here. We'll also be doing some future videos about some of the audio upgrades that we're going to be doing to the set. Next thing we'll be doing is some acoustic treatments for the wall back behind the camera to eliminate some of the bounce back sound that you're hearing from that wall that I'm talking towards. So stay tuned for that. If you like what you saw here, be sure and subscribe or give us a thumbs up. Share this video if you think it's helpful to somebody else, and leave a comment down below. Let us know your feedback, how you might do things differently. Always appreciate learning new things from each and every one of you, and we'll see you in the next video.